Hello, welcome to Delicious Chaos with Samba Schutte. It is chaos and it will be delicious. I promise you this. We are making sure that chat is now open. We'd love to hear where you're from. Please jump on in. Yeah, so if you want to just let us know what's going on, we'd love to hear from you. Yay, there's everybody. So I'm Charlie Keepin. I'm your celebrity lion tamer and personal valet, your personal celebrity valet. With me today is our moderator, Rye or Mariah. It's her first day, so please make her job as easy or as hard as you deem necessary. And our ASL interpreters, Catherine and Harshada, are both here. Thank you both. Thank you all. We have a lot to get to today, so I won't blather on for a long time, but a few quick notes as we begin. Wow, the chat is just, it's gonna be that kind of day where it's flooding. Look at that waterfall. The chat is open. If you want to chat with everybody instead of just Samba and my team, please make sure you hit the drop down that says everyone. The Q&A box is also open. If you have questions for Samba, use the Q&A box. The chat is already a waterfall, so saying questions in there is just a lost cause at this point. There's so many fun, excited, enthusiastic people from all over the world, exotic places like California and Sydney, Wisconsin, a country called Oregon. Never heard of that one before. And if you'd like to join Samba live and you have a working camera and mic, you can use the raised hand feature in reactions. If you just updated your Zoom, it may look all different. So just be ready. Yeah, Montana, upstate New York, amazing. There are a lot of people here, and we are a very small and dedicated and loving crew. So we're gonna all work together to make this thing happen. If you finally, if you have a meet and greet, simply remain here. Okay, we'll remain here, and then after the class finishes, we'll move on to the meet and greets. But let's see. Yeah, everybody's running in. Yep, we're all good. I saw we've been seeing your webinar questions about starting. So let's let the chaotic good begin, shall we? Let's grab Samba here. I'm gonna turn on Samba's camera. That was not necessary. Why are you doing that, Charlie? Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna grab Samba now, who is in the laboratory. He is joining us now here live. Samba Schutte.
Hello, everybody. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining me in my chaotically small, cursed kitchen, by the way. Things go wrong here, so let's see how it goes today. Hi. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Mariah, for joining us all today, and all of you amazing OFD fans. Crew for life. Thanks for being here for this beautiful Mother's Day class, the Peche Melba recipe, which I learned from my mom. And I'm so happy to share with you today. Charlie, shall we just...
Let's party. Let's get into it.
Start? Shall we just start? Okay, is everyone ready? I'm going to go as slow as I can. Don't worry if you've never baked this before. It's going to be okay. And for those of you joining us who are not our Flag Means Death fans, welcome to hell. No, this is really catered to the OFMD fans, but I'm going to try and just be as universal as possible. Good luck to us all. So, first things first, please turn on your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. All right, that's first things first. So turn that on. I'm by myself today because my wife usually helps me, Aria film. She's with the baby right now, so I'm going to be the one zooming in and making sure I can show you what's happening. So bear with me. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Okay, all right. First things first, oven's on, and now we're going to show you how to put some parchment paper on your baking pan. So this is a springform pan. You can separate the bottom from the top. So I use a 9-inch, but you can use a 10-inch as well. So first thing you want to do is put some parchment paper on this so that it's easier to remove the pie once you started it, okay? So what I do, and I hope I can show it to you, just take a good slice of parchment paper, enough to cover the circle at the bottom. Do that so it fits nicely in the center like that. Now what you want to do is butter the bottom and the sides of the baking pan, and that will stop the pie from the crust from sticking to it once you remove it. Okay, so just use a little bit of butter, just a tiny little amount. Here we go. Get your fingers nice and buttery, and just go all over the bottom, right? Much like Wee John did to Easy on Calypso Night when he did his makeup, probably. And all over the sides, all right? All over the sides like that, on the inside of the springform pan. I'm super excited to share this recipe. I got it from my mom. I modified it to add the raspberry. I know there's some people who don't like peaches, so thanks for being here anyway and finding your substitution mangoes or whatnot. Still gonna be tasty. All right, now that is buttered, put your parchment paper on top, nicely in the center. Make sure it sticks nicely to it, just like that. All right, and then place your springform pan around the bottom, and then close it, tighten it up. Ta-da! Now, please, this is important. Make sure that it's actually level. See, mine's not level at the bottom. So make sure it's actually level and flat where it's supposed to go. Otherwise, everything's going to leak out like a puddle. And you don't want that. So get that level. I'm not there yet. Oh, there we go. You can see nice and even at the bottom. There's a little gap here, which means it might leak, but whatever. I've set fire to this kitchen before. It's probably going to happen again. So that's your baking pan ready. Your oven's on. Now we can start with the crust. I gave you guys two options for the crust. First one is with graham crackers or your favorite biscuit. Basically, if you're going to use the graham crackers, today I'm going to do the from scratch one. But if you don't know how to do the graham cracker one and you need a visual reference, please go to YouTube right away, Baking with Samba, key lime pie, and you'll see how I make the crust using these babies. So if you're going to use these babies, graham crackers, I use 2 packs of these. So 18 pieces of graham crackers total. One has 9. So that would be in grams of cookies, let's say 270 grams of cookies, whatever cookie you're going to use. Put them in a mixing bowl, crush them nicely with your hands. Otherwise, some people also put them in like a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag and just smash the shit out of them like Roach would. Today, though, I'm going to make the pie crust from scratch. And those of you joining me, I believe in you. So yeah, those who are doing the graham crackers, break your graham crackers in pieces in the mixing bowl and melt 5 tablespoons of butter in a medium saucepan or in your microwave. And once the butter is melted, you add that to the cookies, mix it up, pinch of salt, so it's nice and crumbly and sandy. Before I move on, for those of you doing the crust from scratch, it's not 5 tablespoons of butter, it's a whole stick of butter. It's 8 tablespoons of butter, okay? Which is in grams, 100 grams of butter, okay? So those of you who are joining me with the crust from scratch, let's melt our butter. So I am gonna do mine in a medium, small saucepan on low, medium heat. Okay, so 1 stick of butter in the saucepan and let that melt away. Okay, so let me zoom in to show you how I'm gonna be making crust from scratch. Little inside story. The reason I made this crust from scratch, my mom showed me how to make an gluten-free and egg-free crust, is because when I made it for Reese for his birthday, some of his family members do not eat eggs and dairy. So this is a nice challenge for me to make a gluten-free crust, and it worked. And Reese can't get enough of it. Keeps asking me for it. You got that Peche Melba Pie, Samba? That's my Reese voice, by the way. Horrible impression. All right. For those of you making the crust from scratch, I use 1-to-1 flour, but you can use any gluten-free flour or your flour of your choice. And we're going to put 1 cup of flour in our mixing bowl. Okay, so that's this really nice cup. The flour in the mixing bowl. There we go. And while your butter is melting away, make sure you keep an eye on your butter. You don't want it to burn, okay? So just keep stirring it from time to time. 1 cup of flour. The butter's melting. We're going to add half a cup or 100 grams of sugar to the flour, okay? So half a cup of sugar. You can use brown sugar. You can use white sugar. I just use the white because I'm racist. Half a cup of sugar in the flour. There you go. And then pinch of salt, because you want the crust to have a little bit of saltiness. So just a little pinch of salt in the flour sugar mixture. And then we're going to use 1 teaspoon, not a tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, not tablespoon, of baking soda, baking powder. God, I made that mistake again. I made 40 orange cake. I said baking soda instead of baking powder. 1 teaspoon baking powder in the in the flour sugar salt mix. Okay, just a little teaspoon. And then a little teaspoon of vanilla extract as well. This whole recipe hinges on vanilla flavor because it's based on a French ice cream, my favorite one, which is vanilla ice cream with peaches and raspberries. And that's what inspired me to make it this way. All right, you have your mixture: flour, sugar, baking powder, vanilla, a little bit of salt. Your butter's melting away. Okay, just give that a little stir. And then what we'll do is we're going to add the butter to this to make a nice and crumbly crust. Okay. How's everyone doing? Do we have any questions that are urgent?
We have a few actually. We have a few. Will the pie be freezable?
Freezable. Once it's done. I've never frozen it. I mean, hey, it's based on an ice cream, so try. I'm sure it'll hold. Yeah. It'll be frozen peaches, frozen raspberries. Obviously, when you thaw it, it might be more liquidy from the raspberries and the peaches that hold so much water. Yeah. But try it. Serve it as an ice cream cake. Let me know how that works out. Why not? Yeah. All right. For those of you melting your butter, check that it doesn't burn. For those of you using the graham crackers, you're going to add your 5 tablespoons of butter to your graham crackers and then kind of just mix that up. Careful, it's going to be hot. And then basically what you're looking for is a kind of sandy texture, meaning when you clump the graham crackers together, it kind of holds a shape. And if it doesn't, if it's too dry, just add a tablespoon of water and just mix it up again. For those of you making it from scratch, add your butter to your flour, sugar, mixture. All right. There you go. Make sure you turn off the fire on your stove. That's how I caught fire before yesterday. And it's going to be too hot to use your hands. So just use a little spoon first to mix the butter and the flour all together. Okay. Mix it up, let it incorporate well. And then you're going to notice that it's going to clump together. All that delicious vanilla anthem. Okay. Basically, by now, it's going to be cool enough to use your hands. So just use your hands. Make sure it's all mixed nicely together. And this is basically like a shortbread kind of texture. And I love this because it's an easy crust recipe that doesn't, Samba hair. That doesn't, it's a gift when you find my curls in your desserts.
Extra protein.
Extra curly. And you're looking for a texture that's sandy. Okay, so this kind of, I don't know if you can see, it kind of holds together, the shape together. Okay. It's going to be very crumbly. It's probably going to crumble in the oven, but that's fine. That's what we want. We want a crumbly kind of texture to mimic the biscuit that you get when you eat that ice cream. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to get that texture. Okay. For my graham cracker friends, I hope you have a texture. It's not going to be that sandy, but it's going to at least hold together, if not add a bit of water. If this mixture is still too dry, for those of you who are attempting it, add a tablespoon of water and you'll get there. Okay. And what we're gonna do, once you're with me, is we're gonna put it in the baking pan. All right. So just pour it in there. Get it all in there. Now, what you want to do is spread it out as evenly as possible, even with the graham cracker ones. You're going to want to use your hand to flatten it at the bottom and then press against the sides to have about a height of about 1 inch on each side evenly. So use your hand to press at the bottom. I use the back of my hand and kind of spread it out. And make sure that there are no gaps at the bottom. You don't want this thing to leak. Okay. Use the back of your hand to flatten it at the bottom while you push toward the outside. Then you build your wall. And then kind of using your finger and press up against the sides, and they'll lift up the crumbs and push that firmly against the sides to build a 1 inch high wall. If it's not exactly 1 inch, don't worry. It'll still hold the whole mixture together once it cools down. Just go all the way around, making sure everything is nice. I'll show you what it looks like in a second.
And Samba, Zoe asks, if you don't have a springform pan, can I just use a cake tin and serve it in a tin?
Sure, but then you won't be able to remove it, I think, because it's such a crumbly texture. You're gonna have to serve it in the cake tin, which is fine too. You just won't be able to remove it from the cake tin because it's gonna be a puddly mess. Like I was when the mermaid kiss happened. Did the mermaid kiss happen? Or was that Samba's BTS? I'm confused. What's real? What's not real? So mix it all up together. And I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. Ta-da! This is what you're going for. No gaps at the bottom. A little bit of height on the sides. Don't worry if they're not all even. But make sure you press firmly using your thumb or your fingers against the sides, because this wall is going to collapse a little bit once it bakes. All right, so just press firmly all around. Again, make sure there are no gaps at the bottom or on the sides. And there you have the base, your crust, which is the hardest step, you guys. So if you get through this step, the rest is easy peasy, trust me. Okay, now, for those of you who baked it from scratch, we're going to use a fork to poke some holes in there. It's going to help it, stop it from rising too much. For those of you who are using the graham crackers, once you've pressed it down, or the biscuits, and done this, you're good to go. You can put it in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes until it's fragrant and brown. For those of you doing it from scratch, this is going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. So poke holes in it. It's using a fork. There you go. But you said don't have gaps at the bottom. You're allowed these little fork gaps. All right. Once you're with me, put it in the oven for 15 minutes until it's golden brown. If your oven's too hot, make sure you check it after about 12. If it's not ready yet, like you'll see that it's cooked and blondish, almost a little tan, then it's ready to go. Okay, so 15 minutes in the oven. Here we go. Hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes starting now.
Thank you. All right. Let me hand up a little bit so you can see my face bending down, which is how I was doing my scenes with Khan. I had to be like this to be at eye level because he's tiny. How's everyone doing?
Samba,
Yeah.
there are a number of people who say they have a surprise for you,
Oh, okay.
right? If we bring them on camera.
Yeah.
So we can try and see and keep if as long as it's rated G, if you're game. Are you game?
I'm game. Shall we do it?
Yeah, when do you want to do it?
There's gonna be a time. There's gonna be a time where we have like 15 to 20 minutes to chill.
Perfect.
So thanks for the surprise. Whatever it is, it's
There's,
gonna be
I
fun.
mean, I've clocked at least 10 or 15 people. I don't know if we can bring all of you in, but you want to show the surprise. Well, let me know when you want to do that, someone.
Sounds good.
We
Thanks,
do
guys. I
also have
love.
questions, or if you'd like to ask to go on to whatever you like.
Yeah, and if someone has a personal question, we can bring you on camera. Don't be shy. Uh, all right. So there'll be a time for that. Thanks, guys. All right, we're gonna move on to our filling. Now, a lot of people are terrified about this step. Trust me, the crust is the hardest step. All right, what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna guide you step by step. It's gonna be a delicious vanilla custard that doesn't have egg yolks. Because a lot of custards use egg yolks and you whip it and it's French and it's got attitude. Not this one. This one's from New Zealand. It's just ha ha. That's how all Kiwis sound. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna strain our cans of peaches. Again, I'm gonna zoom the camera to show you what I'm doing on my work table. And if there's any questions, so, let's see. It's gonna be interesting. There we go. And let's hope it's in focus. Otherwise, oh, you see. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, gang. What we're gonna do is strain the peaches. I'm still trying, Reese. I'm still trying. Um, one day I'll get it right. I hope y'all who saw him in Basingstoke had fun. Um, admired those calves because I always do. All right, peach cans. Two. Two peach cans or whatever mango you're gonna be using. This is about 850 grams of peach and peach juice. Peach emoji juice, peach emoji, peach. Is Samba an ass man? I don't know. Why are you asking? Stop it. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna strain these peaches and into the mixing bowl using a sieve because you want to separate the peach juice from the peaches. All right. So just use a sieve and open your cans. And basically strain your peaches. I use the slices because they're already sliced. If you're using whole peaches, whoops, just you'll cut them later in smaller pieces, okay? You don't want whole peaches at the bottom. It's just gonna make the pie very chunky. So slices are really the way to go. Okay, so make sure you got all the peach juice in there. Yummy, yummy peach juice. If your peach juice or peach can has sugar added, you're gonna need less sugar than what I'm gonna do. If it's no sugar, just follow the recipe as told. And basically, I try to get all the juice out there. You're gonna want about a cup of peach juice. And then just set your peaches aside, okay? I'm gonna use them later. So, peach juice is in the mixing bowl. Now, what we want to do is save some of this peach juice for later, because what you're going to do is you're going to save about 3 to 5 peach slices for your decoration on top. But those peach slices are going to dry out if they're not in their juice, much like how the Swede dries out if he's not embraced by Spanish Jackie. So we want those two guys to live in harmony. So use about 2 tablespoons of peach juice. Put it back in your can or put it in a little bowl, wherever you're going to store your little peach slices. Okay? So, put that aside. Now, this is going to form the base of the flavor from the custard together with the milk and cream we're going to use. what you're gonna do is add 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch to this peach juice and just mix it together, okay? So the cornstarch is what's gonna replicate the egg yolk and bring it all together, thicken it up without using gluten. So 2.5 tablespoons. Don't hold back. Because you want it to thicken up once you heat it up. So 2.5, boom, in there. Mix it all together so it dissolves nicely. And by the way, those of you who are worried that I was done posting BTS, if you read the caption, I said last BTS scene for now. And then I removed the for now because I realized it was the last one I had. And by scene, I mean the screen recording, which is not allowed, by the way, it's illegal. I recorded the camera footage on my phone and I edited it together and I posted it. And I hear that, you know, HBO Max is coming after some of you artists. And so imagine what they're going to do to me. So that was the last scene clip that I had recorded anyway. But I'm not done posting BTS, you guys. I don't think I'll ever be done, to be honest with you. I just want to keep clowning forever with you all. I should have a shirt that says clowns forever instead of crew for life. Thank you to all who bought the crew for life shirt, by the way. It means so much to me. It's amazing design by Riley Santangelo, who is an amazing artist. And she came up with this concept. And I wanted to jump on board because I wanted to commemorate our bond, crew and cast forever. All right, so don't worry if there's still a few clumps of cornstarch in there. As long as most of it is dissolved, the rest will melt once you heat it up in the milk mixture. Okay. Once that's done, we're going to start with our milk. In here, find a medium saucepan. Let me turn the camera a bit this way so you can see the saucepan. Oh, don't fall. Okay, so in a medium saucepan, add 1 cup of milk or 250 milliliters of milk. 1 cup of milk or 250 milliliters of milk. I use whole milk. You can use whatever milk you want as long as it got some kind of fat in it. So if you're using it vegan, just make sure there's some coconut oil or something to thicken it all together. Okay, put that 1 cup of milk in the saucepan. I spilled some, so I'm going to add a bit of extra. And put it on medium heat, all right, medium to low. And what you're going to want is this to start getting hot and maybe simmering on the sides. Let me pan down so you can see what I'm about. Ooh, this tripod almost fell over. Zoom in. Hope everyone's doing okay. For those of you who are using the graham crackers, make sure your 8-minute timer is still on. And then if it's fragrant and brown, take it out of the oven. Okay. For those of you doing it from scratch, not yet. Okay, let that heat up for a second. Once it's hot, we're going to add this peach cornstarchy mixture to it. And we're going to keep whisking nonstop for a good 5 minutes until it starts to thicken. And then we'll add our heavy cream and vanilla and all that. Oh, I forgot. To this mixture, we have to add a few things while your milk is heating up, okay? Keep an eye on the milk. To the mixture, we have to add 5 teaspoons of sugar. Now, if your peach juice was already sweetened, you might want to add less sugar because you don't want it too sweet. Mine had already a bit of sugar added, so I'm just going to add 3 teaspoons, but go with what your flavor profile. So to the cornstarch peach juice mixture, add 5 teaspoons of sugar, or 3, and then give it a taste and see if it's too sweet or not sweet enough. Mix that together. And we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. That's right, a tablespoon, because we really want that vanilla flavor to come through. So just add a tablespoon of vanilla to that. And mix it all together. Almost forgot this step. I was distracted thinking of Reese's Puffs. How is everyone at Basingstoke if you guys are there anyway? I heard there was Aurora Borealis yesterday. Basically, there were so many OFMD fans that the sky decided to become gay. That's amazing. All right, here we go. Mix that all together. The power of OFMD fans, they can change the sky. All right. You can tank Warner Brothers stocks and change the sky. That's the name. All right, here we go. Make sure your milk is getting hot. And you want it to feel hot and simmer. For those of you who are doing the graham cracker crust, you must have removed it by now because it should be about 10 minutes, and you want to get it out, set it aside to cool. All right. And just leave it there to cool down. If it's crumbled or if there are gaps, don't worry. Once it's a little cooler, patch it up with your finger or on the sides. For those of you who are doing it from scratch, we have about 3-ish minutes to go, and we'll check on it. You can check on it now to see if your oven's too hot. It's gonna be brownish. Mine can still use a little bit of time. So keep an eye on everything, the milk, this. Before I add the peach mixture to the milk, I'm gonna remove my crust, okay? Because I don't want to be distracted. I don't want it to burn. So we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to spare for now while we're doing this. So just gonna have any questions?
Would you like to bring someone in who has worked the show? Let's see how your creation is, or do you want to do something else? What would you like to do, Samba?
Well, we have 2 minutes, so if something's 2 minutes long, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, well, do you want to do the surprise real quick? Because they've been messaging me privately, and I feel like you need to say.
Is it going to take 2 minutes? If it's longer, I don't want it to take it away from.
We're not going to. I'm not going to turn on your audio. We just need to see your faces, and then we will see what happens. So if you have the special surprise that I've been talking to some of you about, please raise your hand. I see you, Amanda. We're gonna bring you in, not to speak yet because we have so much to do, but we're gonna cause chaos. Let's go. All right, I'm bringing you in now, and I'm only gonna be able to do a few of you because we have a lot going on here. But yeah, I'm gonna bring a few of you in. Let's.
Okay.
So what do we have happening here?
Let's see. Let me see that. Let me put it on gallery view so I can see everybody.
Gallery
Whoa, Amanda, nice face mask. Spa day. Cherry, you got a face mask on too. Oh my God, everyone. Trisha, nice. Yeah. Roach invented mud masks. Let's be honest. He invented mud masks and Chardonnay after the spa day for sure. That scene was deleted. I posted it just to show you that he had a whole day planned with Fang. That's amazing. Oh man,
we have probably
what we
people.
Really. The mud mask we used was mud mask from New Zealand. It was Roturoa mud. So it was like this old volcanic ash mask. And it was really nice to put on my face. But then the eel that bit Dave's toe that day ruined that spa day for us all. We were supposed to be relaxed, have fun in the water, and an eel bit Dave Fane's toe. And we still had to keep acting, by the way. The eel was still in the water, and I had to, Samba, I had a guy who was afraid of snakes, had to chase him down because the cameraman and the crew were like, no, we don't mess with eels. And I was like, well, I'm the actor here, and I want my 10 toes. So that was fun. Hey, Gretchen, nice. What color did you guys use? Ah, that's a sweet surprise. Wait, I gotta take a photo of this. Right, all the roach masks. Oh my goodness.
If you have a roach mask, raise your hand.
Oh, that's my timer for the cake crust.
Okay, we gotta go.
No, wait. Let's take. Wait,
we got one more.
Here we go.
One more.
Hi, Taz. Hi, guys. Oh, you're already having your wine. Excellent. This is a spa day. That's amazing. Thanks, guys. What a fun surprise. Thank you. All right, let's take the crust out of the oven before it burns. And watch your milk. Don't let your milk boil. If it's too hot, turn it down. So, crust. Out of the oven. And you see mine's brownish. And don't worry, like I said, if yours has crumbled on the sides especially, just set it aside to cool for a second and then just patch it up because it's going to be soft enough to stick together. Okay. So this is the crust, whatever it'll look like, and it'll cool down, it'll crumble, it'll crack, but that's all part of it. It's supposed to be fun, delicious mess. Set this aside to cool, but please keep the parchment paper away from the fire because I set my kitchen on fire yesterday. So set that aside to cool and leave your oven on. Okay, now back to the milk. Thank you guys for that surprise. I want to see more of it in a second and tell you more about it in a second. So milk should be.
Some of the focus is just slightly blurry in case you want to.
Oh, my bad. Here, I'll zoom in and focus again. Go. All right. Your milk should be hot by now. Okay. So nice and warm. You can feel it. You can see some bubbles simmering. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this mixture of peach juice, cornstarch, vanilla, and sugar to the milk. And we're going to whisk constantly. This is what's going to help it thicken for 5 minutes. Ready? So just pour it in. Get all the bits of cornstarch in there. Okay. And just start whisking. It should thicken in about 5 minutes. And you'll know when it's there because my face is tight. Because it's gonna come together as a kind of nice and smooth paste. And you'll notice that there'll be some bubbles popping on the top. So that's when you know it's there. So just keep whisking it. And don't worry, if it doesn't thicken after 5 minutes, maybe add another half tablespoon of cornstarch and just keep whisking. The cornstarch will do its job, trust me. And it'll thicken up. So let's just keep it at that. Keep whisking. Yeah, the spa day mask thing. When in episode 7, it got cut, you know, the scene with Dave and Roach, or Fang and Roach walking back to the Republic of Pirates. But it's so funny to me because when you watch episode 7, after Zhang has kicked Steed's ass and the explosions start going off, suddenly you see Roach in the background, like a French mime, just like, oh. And it's like, who is that person in whiteface acting or doing a modern physical dance interpretation of what's happening in that scene? And it's so funny to me that it's not explained or whatever. You just see Roach in a face mask in the background going, oh my God, explosions. Because the whole point was that Roach was supposed to scream each time Zhang was kicking Steed's ass. And you know me, I love to scream. So that's why I posted that deleted scene of me and Fang walking into the Republic of Pirates and screaming once we see Steed's ass getting whipped by Zhang. But yeah, that face mask was really, my skin was really smooth after that. All right, here, you see it's starting to thicken up just a little bit. Just keep whisking it. If it hasn't thickened up yet, don't worry. Give it time. All right, see it coming together. And it's going to start forming like a thick yogurt, almost like a, yeah, it's basically a custard. Just keep whisking it. And you'll know you're there once you, for example, leave it be, and then the bubbles start popping on the top. I'll show you. See? These bubbles start popping, that's when you know you're there. If you're not, keep whisking. It's not been even 5 minutes yet, mine's already thick. So I can hear some of you go, the gentleman pirate, I presume. You guys, what have we done to ourselves? Okay, now we're gonna add, once it's got its texture, okay, we're gonna add half a cup of heavy cream to this mixture, okay? Again, if you're using a vegan alternative, just make sure it's got some fat to it. Maybe coconut oil, I guess. I'm not an expert in that field, unfortunately. So 120 milliliters or half a cup of heavy cream. Add that to your custard. And keep whisking it. Okay? You don't want it to burn. If it hasn't thickened yet, you guys, just add a little bit of cornstarch, maybe just a tiny little half a tablespoon. We'll keep whisking. Trust me, you'll get there. Okay? I'm actually going to turn down my fire a little bit because it's a bit hot. But yeah, add your cream. That's just going to smoothen the custard out a little bit. Okay. All right. Now we're also going to add another tablespoon of vanilla because we really want the vanilla flavor to shine through. So yes, a whole tablespoon of vanilla essence to the thing. Ta-da. Keep whisking that. Okay. And hopefully you can smell the vanilla, smell the peaches, smell the cream. Beautiful, delicious, flavorful custard. That's not French. It's African. I don't know. All right. Now, important, give it a taste and see if it's sweet enough for you. If it's not, add in another teaspoon of sugar or something, or 2 teaspoons. I like that. For me, that's sweet enough. So if you're happy with the taste, turn off the fire. Give it another whisk so it just holds its shape together. And this is the texture you're going for, you guys. Are there any questions?
Yeah, we've got a couple in the Q&A box here. Samba, what is your all-time favorite dessert?
Oof. I love tiramisu. I love chocolate mousse. My mom used to make a chocolate and coffee cake, which I then modified to make the Samba cake, which is on my YouTube channel. And that's one of my favorite cakes, mixtures. Just coffee and chocolate are an amazing combination.
Yeah.
And chocolate mousse, tiramisu that has the coffee and the chocolate and the creaminess. I think those are my top desserts for sure. Yeah.
Someone says, so Marianne asks, your Reese impression is getting good.
Hmm.
Do you have a
Really?
con impression?
A con impression.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a con impression? You just have to pretend you're choking.
Hi, Samba. How are you today? Yeah, you sound like a Jewish barber in Eddie Murphy's movie. But this is Con, you see? Oh, welcome, love. Welcome. I'm hugging you, Samba, but I'm only hugging your torso because I'm so short. Come, Con. This is me picking up Con. Oh, you little man. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. This is how you sing it in French.
Please don't tell Con. That's what I think he sounds like, because he may be small, but he can punch. And by punch, I mean, I'm coming at you. No, stop it. Stop it, little guy. That's my Con impression. Horrible. All right.
Go on. Also, there may be something with Momentus and Con. I'm just you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, go ahead.
Ooh, yeah. Nice. Okay, now it's time to do the filling. So this would be, let me zoom in some more. I can't. Okay, so I'll just try and hold it to show you. What we're gonna do, your custard's ready, your peaches are strained. We're gonna basically put the peaches in the crust and then top it with the vanilla custard. Now, before you put all your slices in there, remember that peach juice we saved earlier? Put 3 to 5 slices of peaches in there that you're gonna save for decorating later. Okay, I'm just gonna use 3 for now. 3 nice slices, because this is what's gonna go on top of your cake. Let that sit in the peach juice. Bring the sweet and Spanish Jackie together. Okay, we're gonna add these peach slices to the crust. And basically at the bottom, we're just gonna kind of line them up. And I'll do it and I'll show you how I do it, okay? So what I like to do is just 1 slice at a time, just kind of line it up in a nice floral pattern. The goal is to make sure every inch of the bottom of the crust is filled with peaches, so every bite you take of the cake will have some peaches. That's what you want to give everybody. It's what Captain Reese demands. I want a bite of peach in every slice.
Yeah, Samba, I would like a bite of peach pie too. And stop calling me small.
I do a one-man show of everybody in the Our Flag Means Death cast. I'm Vico. My name's Kristen Nair. I can't understand what you're saying. I'm Kristen Nair. Horrible impressions.
The animated series when? Some.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I was telling Jenkins, I'm like, we should just do a cartoon of the show, and Reese and I will just voice everybody. Make it so bad. All right. This is how I like to fill it up. Sorry if it's not in focus, but basically, just cover every inch of the bottom with your peaches, almost so it's the same height level. All right. So every bite will have some peaches. Now, the fun bit, we're gonna add the custard on the top of the peaches, all right? And you're gonna want to cover every inch of this. So I'm just gonna use a spatula. All right. We're gonna cream those peaches, baby. Yeah. Calm down, everybody. And on 3, the genuine pirate, I presume. I'm kidding. You guys. All right. Just get every inch. And just spread it out, okay? You want to cover all the peaches so it looks like a nice surprise. People don't know what's in the pot, even though you might say, it's Peche Melba. And they'll be like, what? It's a Rosy Maple Moth. Okay, that sounds disgusting. No, it's just try it, Mom. Yeah, cover every inch. And if some peaches are showing through, don't worry, you're fine. But basically, this is what you're going for. Fully covered custard. If it goes above the height of the crust, don't worry, because it's still gonna set in once it cools down fully. All right, so don't panic if your wall isn't high enough, and the custard is coming through the wall. Okay, we're not immigration. We're okay to let some people through. So once it's done, right, put this in the oven for 15 minutes. Even if you have your graham cracker crust, this next step is the same for everybody. Put this in the oven for 15 minutes for it to set nicely, okay? So hope everyone's keeping up. I'm gonna put it in the oven. Well, 15 minutes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes starting now.
Woo! All right, that's step 2 of 3, everybody. How are y'all feeling? I might have to change my camera battery soon, but that's fine. Are we all good? It's hard to see the chat. It's just ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding,
it's
ding.
just going. Somebody said our series are now synced, so you've now set off a 50-minute series across the world.
Nice. Basically, we can work on the next step while the pie is cooking, because this takes about 10 to 15 minutes, so it's going to be perfect timing. And then we'll have 15 minutes to chill as everything cools down. And then we can talk, ask questions. I can answer your questions, share some BTS stories if you want them. So you're going to need another saucepan. We're basically going to make the raspberry coulis. But again, this one got no gelatin, like has a flesh to it. It's just cornstarch that's going to help set it all. So it's a nice light cake to eat, nice and healthy, not filling in that sense. So again, medium saucepan. What you're going to need is your raspberries. Wash them. If you're, hygienic, don't if you're a pirate. You're going to need 8 ounces of raspberries, which is 1 pack or 230 grams of raspberries. You know, the 1 pack from these guys, like 1/2 of those basically. And just make sure you got your raspberries ready. In the small saucepan, you're gonna need 1/2 cup or 120 milliliters of water. So just add your water to your little saucepan, 1/2 cup or 120 milliliters. Okay. And then we're gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch to the water. Cornstarch always needs a liquid to absorb and take shape. So let me zoom in on this bit so you can see what I'm doing. So 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch in the saucepan. Oh, let me tilt down, sorry. So you can see what I'm doing there. One half, and just stir it so it dissolves nicely in the water. And that looks like a milky white texture. It's not milk, all right? Okay, once that's all dissolved together, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of sugar. Doesn't matter what kind. I use white, you can use brown. 2 teaspoons of sugar. 1, 2. Stir that together. Okay. And then your raspberries. Add that all in there. And turn it on medium-low heat. And what's this? This is basically the raspberries are going to melt into the cornstarch mixture and break down and form like a nice red gelatin-like texture. So keep stirring from time to time as it breaks down. The hardest part about this step is straining it. It's not hard, I'm just saying it's just tedious because you want to strain the coulis from any seeds, clump of cornstarch. And if your sieve is not thick enough, some seeds will get through, so you might want to strain it twice. I'm just going to use a very thin sieve, the kind you strain your tea through, that kind of thing. That's just going to stop any seeds from going through. So just mix that together. Let's see, while that's happening, I can share. Let's see what I've shared so much BTS with you guys. I've shared so much BTS with you. I did the Behind the Flag series. I showed you some bloopers. I showed you some deleted scenes and some photos of the cast and crew, the sets. What haven't I done for you? What haven't I done for you? Let's see. Have I shared some things? Did I ever tell you that when they were auditioning the Gentleman Pirate, before it went to Reese, guess who else auditioned to be the Gentleman Pirate? Paul Bettany. What? Paul Bettany? Wimbledon? That guy? The guy from Marvel with the Indian duck on his head? I don't know what his character's name is. The guy was married to the witch lady. Help me out, nerds. What's her name? Yeah. Scarlet Witch. Yes. What was the name of that show? Vision. Vision. Yes, correct. Vision was gonna be the Gentleman Pirate. Can you imagine that? No way. God, no. You need Reese's voice to go, what we're about to do will be perilous. Not what we're about to do will be perilous. Not to make fun of Paul Bettany. I mean, he's an amazing actor. But you need Reese's voice. You do. You need Reese's voice. So yeah, ooh, my spoon is hot. Sorry, just need to cool that down. Careful with that. Just keep stirring till the raspberries right down. Also, Paul Bettany and Taika kissing? I don't see it. Maybe you guys see it. I don't. Paul Bettany as a mermaid? You guys, no. No. I'm floating on water. I'm a vision. Come back, Ed, come back. I'm a vision, literally. No, I don't see it. Let me turn that down. That's a bit hot. Keep stirring. You want to stir for about 10 minutes until it all breaks down, okay? Here's another BTS gossip for you. Not gossip, but what could have happened. Calico Jack, right? First, we all thought it was gonna look like it was gonna be Michael Fassbender. I would have liked to see that. Michael Fassbender as Calico Jack. Oh. Now, don't get me wrong. Will Arnett was perfectly cast. He killed it because he's Will Arnett. He's a douchebag. And he likes hearing that. And he's amazing. He's an amazing friend, amazing guy. But Michael Fassbender would have been interesting as Calico Jack because he would have terrified us. Terrified us. I think we'd be scared of Michael Fassbender as Calico Jack. I would have been curious to see how he would have played it. I think Will Arnett was perfect with that accent. Hey, come on, Ed, let's go through some coconuts. That's my Calico Jack impression. Vegas, I see you go. Michael Fassbender doing that voice? I don't think so. Michael Fassbender would have been like, hello, Ed. It's good to see you again. How about that horny gold, huh? Let's do it with peas. Terrifying. He would have been terrifying. No. I think Will Arnett was perfectly cast. With All right, that's a little inside gossip for you. Shh. Here we go. This is coming together. Ooh, it's hot. Careful, you guys. Don't burn yourselves. Basically, you start to see it break down. It's getting darker in color as the raspberries are breaking down. The seeds are breaking down. You want it all to melt together, okay? And just keep stirring it for another couple minutes till you get a nice darker color raspberry, and hopefully you'd be smelling that raspberry flavor. This raspberry cooling is going to cut the sweetness from the pie, add a little bit of zing, add a little bit of tangy to your zangy, and your zangy to your tangy. That was a cute scene, huh? I'm glad I posted that deleted BTS scene. It was just fun to watch Reese and Taika work together. And no, Taika's kids were not in that angle. It was the script supervisor who was reading with them. And yes, the line was those girls were supposed to, Taika's daughters were supposed to ask, the urchins were supposed to ask, are you two boyfriends? And just watch how Taika and Reese would play with that. But it would be too early to give the boyfriend line in that scene, so I'm glad it came later. But it was fun to see them react to, are you two boyfriends? And then going, what? We're friends who are boys, and we're boy and boy, and friend, and friend and boys friend, maybe. But I'm glad they saved it till later, even though it didn't make it in the show. With "Can I call you that, my boyfriend?" or "Zaddy?" I think that would have been hilarious. But yeah, there was so much choice, so much improv, so little time. Each episode had to be 30 minutes or less, unfortunately. So we cut out so many beautiful gems. And I was hoping they'd do some extra bonus scenes, but they didn't. So I did. And now I might get sued. So let's see how that pans out. It was free promo for them. And it's for you guys. I'd do anything for you guys. Okay. Should be a dark color, right? Should be there. If it's not, keep stirring it on the heat. Mine's pretty done. You'll notice this dark color. It's nice and thickish texture. Smells of raspberry. So I'm just turning down the heat. How long do we have in the oven? 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Then before I move on to the next step, which is straining this raspberry coulis through the sieve, which will take about 5 minutes because it's thick. Keep it warm, but don't keep cooking it, all right? Because once it cools, it'll thicken. And then it makes it harder to pass through the sieve. So you don't want it to cool too much. And you pass it through the sieve again to have that smooth raspberry coulis texture. If it's too thick before you pass it through the before you pass it through the sieve, or before you top your pie, if it's too thick and gelatinous, there's a tip you can do. I wrote in the recipe where you melt it again. You just add it back into the saucepan, add a little bit of water to maybe 2-3 tablespoons, and just keep stirring it on low heat until it all comes together again. And then you'll have the texture again. So don't panic if this becomes too thick. There's fixes we can do. Oh, I think my battery is about to die, so this is a good time to change my battery. I'm going to take this off the heat. The pie is going to be done in 1 or 2 minutes, so let me change my battery. I'll be right back.
Excellent. And thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, make sure you use the Q&A box. The chat is still lit as usual with the OFMD fans. We love to see it. Let's see, we've got a couple of other things here in the questions. Yeah, the Q&A is lit up as well. Don't forget, you can watch Samba's other 2 classes on YouTube, and you can subscribe there so you don't miss a thing. We've got lots of classes coming up and lots of different relevant events coming soonish. And there's what else can I tell you? You also should have your recipe and ingredients as well. If you didn't get that, just let us know and we can send it to you as well. And yep, yep. Yep. All right. And then Samba's getting, while he's getting repositioned, as a reminder, if you have a meet and greet ticket, just remain here and we will move on. And thank you, everybody, for your
All right, I'm back.
positive vibes.
Hi. Your pie should be ready now. It's about 15 minutes, so let's check on it and I'll show you what texture you're going for. Basically, you want it to move like a little bit of jello-ish. It should kind of be, mine's pretty set. You want it to kind of jiggle and wiggle, like a little twerk. Like how Vico likes to twerk when the camera is not rolling. That's all they do in between takes is twerk. Mostly with Madeline. But you saw that. So this is what you're going for. Let those peaches twerk. If it's not there yet, don't worry. It will set once it cools. But if you're really worried about it being super runny, just bake it for another 3 minutes. You should be golden, okay? Once that's done, take it out of the oven, set it aside to cool, and turn off your oven. You're not going to need that anymore, okay? So we'll basically move on to the raspberry coulis and straining this baby using a sieve into a mixing bowl. And once that cools down, that's going to go on top of this. Very important, leave your cake in the spring pan. Don't remove the spring pan. I know some people remove the spring pan around the cake once it cools down after 15 minutes. Not this pie. This pie is going to crumble. It's going to be like us at the end of season 2. It's just not going to make sense. So just let it let it set. And in about 15 minutes, we're going to run a smooth knife around the edges so the crust separates from the pan, but it needs to cool down a little bit, okay? Because right now it's super crumbly, both with the homemade crust and the graham crackers. So we're just going to focus on passing the raspberry coulis through the sieve. Let me turn the camera so I can show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so you're going to need a little small bowl, a sieve. I'm just going to use this because it's thin enough to catch the seeds. If your sieve is not thin enough, don't worry, just pass it once through. If there are too many seeds, pass it through again. But again, it's easier to pass through a sieve when it's warm. If it's too cool, it's going to thicken up and it's going to be harder. So basically what you're going to do is just a little bit at a time. Put some in your sieve. And just stir. Stir, stir, stir. And it's going to pass through. Just like that. And eventually you're going to notice that it's going to stick to the bottom of the sieve. So from time to time, just scrape that down with a knife, not with the same spoon because there's going to be seeds on it, just with another spoon. And that's going to help it pass through. So that is a tedious step. So you want it smooth. Okay. And I'm just going to scrape the bottom down. So I show you how to do it. Just like I'm just going to use a knife. Because it's all on there. Just keep stirring. And keep adding. This is worth it, you guys, because it's going to be nice and smooth on the top. It's going to look pretty. And it's not going to have a weird texture because of the raspberry seeds. So let's keep at it. Again, if it becomes too cool and hard, like Izzy's heart, just pass it through the sieve and it's going to be okay. No, Izzy has a nice heart. He has a nice heart. But season 1, he was a douchebag, let's be honest. But like everyone else in season 2, we all became tender as hell. Tender as hell. There was a fun deleted scene in episode 1. I don't know if I told you guys this already. But you know how Steed's crew is alone at Spanish Jackie's. And they're saving money for the money jar. And so we're all in our quarters. And Steed says, all right, let's get the money jar. And Roach finds the money jar. It's hidden under a stone. And everyone puts on the table what they've made that day, contributed to the money jar. So yeah, Oluwande puts down a few coins. Wee John goes, I stole this off a corpse, put some money down. Roach goes, I gave some tattoos down at the dock. Black Pete goes, I'd rather not say how I got this. Puts the money down. Buttons puts down a shell, the sea. And then Steed goes, oh, good job, everybody. And right now it's time to visualize our dream ship. And we all visualize our dream ship. And Roach goes, "Our dream ship has a beautiful, fully stocked kitchen." And Wee John goes, "Our dream ship has, uh, I'm a room person in my dream ship." And Black Pete goes, "Lucius is alive on our dream ship." And we all go, "Oh." And that was a nice little visualization exercise. And then once the money jar is stolen, it becomes that more devastating. But again, we didn't have time, man, because each episode was half an hour. And unfortunately, we couldn't get to all those scenes. Oh yeah, and then Buttons runs, but he's tied to a rope because he keeps wanting to run into the sea. Probably to make love to it, which, let the man have at it. He's probably out there, big seagull, just humping the ocean, living his best life. How are we doing? Are we still straightening this? Don't worry, I told you it's tedious, but we're getting there, okay? Don't forget to strain, get to the bottom. Almost there. How are we doing with time? Yeah. I think we're gonna make it, Charlie.
I believe in you. I believe in us.
All right, I can take questions now while this is happening because nothing much is happening at the moment except for this exercise. So if people have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Amazing. Would you like to take Q&A, or would you like to see if we can bring some people in while you?
But whatever's easiest. I'm just gonna, you know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna zoom out so I can actually see you.
So if you have a question for Samba, or you want to show Samba your progress, your work in progress, raise your hand. Hit that raised hand button in the reactions area there, and you should have a working camera and microphone. Otherwise, it will be a little tricky. All right, great. Let's grab a couple of people and start with some questions. In the meantime, we also have people are curious and asking about how fatherhood is going for you. Let's start there.
Thanks for asking, guys. So I posted about this, but the day my son was being born is the day I got the news of OFMD's cancellation. So that was fun. That was an interesting day. It was so weird because I'm excited by the birth of my son. At the same time, I'm like, no, it can't be, not the show, because we all love it so much, and all the signs were pointing to us getting a third season. But I think at some point, OFMD Max, an HBO Max accountant went, "It's not possible, you guys. This show is just too expensive." And I wish we had gotten a third season. But I think everyone was heartbroken, everyone from the cast, because everyone wanted to return. And to have that happen on the day my son was being born is a weird but unforgettable moment. It's universal dance of life and death. But fatherhood is going great. My baby boy, Ocean is his name. And not because I'm a pirate. He's 4 months old yesterday. So he's getting there. Fatherhood is exhausting, but every day you fall in love again and again and again. So it's going really well.
We have a couple of kids actually in the front row here for you as well. We have Pikachu.
Hey, Pikachu, how's it going?
Let's unmute you.
Raven, hi. Ashley, hi. How's it going? I like the Blackbeard flag there.
Thanks. As you can see, we're big fans of the show.
Nice.
We've been watching it for a while. We actually have parts going on in the back.
Oh, awesome.
And so I just want to say first, you bake fine things well.
Oh, thank you.
Smells amazing. And there is a question I want to ask.
Yeah, sure.
The funniest thing that happened off camera.
Oh my gosh, there were so many funny moments that were happening on camera, off camera. I would say, let me see, that's a tough question because there were so many laughs. I think, oh my gosh. For me, the most harrowing thing that happened was I said a line too quickly and I cut off Taika's line because it was taking too long. And we were all together with the group, and it was like this intense shot. It was all planned, and we were running out of time, and they were zooming back, and um, I was like, "Oh, Taika forgot his line," not knowing that he was waiting for the camera to come into position. And this is every actor's nightmare, by the way. I just go, fine, I'm just gonna say the line we're supposed to say as a group, but I was gonna do it by myself, so I just went, so suicide. And it was just the worst because everyone started laughing at me. Taika was like, "Wow, you're cutting me off right when I'm about to deliver this masterful line." And it was really fun though because everyone did understand that. Yeah, okay, it did take forever for Taika to say his line. So that was one of the funniest days, just because it was so harrowing as an actor. But then to feel that support from everybody was really nice as well. But man, there's so many moments where we laughed off camera with the Swede and Spanish Jackie. When we give the Swede to Spanish Jackie, we're like, here, he's single, right? At the beginning. And then the Swede is sitting on Spanish Jackie's lap. And she goes, "So what are you good at?" And Nat Faxon goes, I'm really good at singing. And then he starts singing a song to Spanish Jackie, and she goes, "Yeah, baby, we're gonna work on that." So that was really just funny to see those two improvise.
Yeah. And I just want to say thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for being a fan, and thanks for baking along and joining us today. It's so nice to meet you.
It was great. And good luck on your rice impression.
And my recent, you can do a recent impression too. Let me hear it.
I'm rice. I've been off like mean statements. And I'm the gentleman pirate.
That's actually way better than my impression. So good. That's actually way better than mine.
That was so good.
That's way better than my impression.
So good.
Good. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah.
Mother's Day. I did a New Zealand impression once to Reese.
And?
He was choking on something, and he wanted to see if I needed medical help. Ashley, hello.
Hi. Hi, Samba.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, just finishing up here. How you doing?
How are you?
Good. How are you? How's the baking going?
It's all right. I did have to ninja my springform pan because it was falling apart, but
Woo!
I had it
Nice.
for some reason, so.
That's how you do it. Awesome.
I have a question for you. Well,
Yeah.
one. What kind of cake was Roach bake for Gentlebeard's wedding at Insteed's? And what would they bake for a garlic soup wedding?
Wow. Well, for Gentlebeard, it'd have to be something with licorice for this, the squiddy kind of krakeny kind of, aspect to it. And then something very light and airy for the lighthouse. So probably lots of fluffy creme fraiche, some licorice, and because it's Steed, oranges just to get his revenge and make sure that the cake really tastes of orange, I think. And as for garlic soup, something teal, so the icing would be teal in color. And then there'd be some red for Zhang. There'd be a snake for Archie. And one of the pieces will have a razor blade or a knife for Jim. Just a surprise,
Excellent.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley. You got this with the cake. My coulis is strained, and I'm just kind of stirring it to cool it down. I know we're almost out of time, Charlie. So let me just explain how this final step happens for those of you who are waiting for everything to cool down. After 15 minutes of this cooling down, run a smooth knife. Just get down. around the edge of the crust so it doesn't stick to the baking pan. Don't worry if it crumbles, it's okay. Basically, just go smoothly, gently around the edges so the filling doesn't stick to the pan. So when you actually separate the pan from the pie, nothing sticks once it's cooled down. Okay. And then keep it in the springform pan. Don't break it open until you're ready to serve and it's cooled fully again, so it holds its shape. And once it's cool enough to the touch, you're going to add your raspberry coulis on top. Okay. Mine's still warm, but I did come prepared just to show you guys how to do the last step. I made one yesterday. This one was with a graham cracker crust. So let me just show you how to put the raspberry coulis on top once it's cooled down and how to decorate it to finish your Peche Melba pie. So once it's cooled down enough, maybe another 15 minutes, keep stirring this so it stays smooth and doesn't cool down, like doesn't harden too much. So it stays easy to spread. Basically, put some right in the middle. Let me zoom in so you can see it. Hope that's clear enough. Put some right in the middle. And remember, keep your springform pan around this. I just removed it because this one's cool, fully cooled. And spread it out and get all the way to the edges. Don't touch the crust because that'll make it soggy, but just get as far as possible to the edges and spread it around. So you cover every bit of that white with red. Nice raspberry coulis on top. All right. Spread it around nicely. And don't worry if you don't have enough coulis because most of it didn't strain right or whatnot. As long as you have some raspberry topping around the top, you'll still have that tangy flavor that cuts through the richness of the pie.
Some are asking about it's a bit watery for them. Is that a cornstarch?
Oh, that's a cornstarchy issue, yeah. But usually it should thicken as it cools down. If after 10 minutes it doesn't seem to be thickening up, put it in a saucepan, add a half a tablespoon of cornstarch, a little bit of water, 2 tablespoons of water, and just kind of on low heat, stir it all together till it'll become nice and thick. But again, as it cools down, it should thicken up because of that cornstarch regardless. Okay. So there you go, top the top. And then it's time to decorate. So I already prepared my washed raspberries that you're going to put around the edges. This is where you can use your creativity. All right. You can spread the raspberries around evenly or just all in one row clumped together. I just like to go like a finger tip between each raspberry, kind of that. Just go around the edges. Just like that. Just to show everyone what's in the pie. That's what toppings are, is to show what's in there. So you're going to show that there's raspberries. You're going to show that there's peaches because we're going to put the peaches in the middle. So just something like that. Again, you can line it all up. You can put another circle in the middle, but I like putting my peaches in the middle. So remember those peaches you saved from earlier, the slices? They should still be nice and juicy because they're in that peach juice. So I'm just going to use 3. Just going to put it in the middle. One like that. Again, this is yours to decorate how you will. Just going to do a kind of Dragon Ball Z, Star Trek-y symbol. This. And we got a trio. And don't worry about the peach juice. It's just going to keep the peaches moist. And I think I'm just going to put a raspberry in the middle to connect everybody. And if you want, you can do the outside too. However you want. This is yours to improvise with, decorate with. Sure. Something like that. Ta-da! Peche Melba Pie. Now, by now, when you're decorating, in here, once it's cooled, put this in the fridge for it to cool fully and completely. And then once it's fully cooled, either the next day or after, I don't know, 3 hours, then you can try to remove the springform pan and then gently try to lift the parchment paper from the bottom of the pan. But if it's too crumbly, don't worry, just serve it on the pan bottom because we don't want to break the pie apart, okay? But you can run a smooth knife underneath between the parchment paper and the pan and then try to put it on a serving plate. But again, if it's too much chaos and it's kind of crumbly and everything, just sort of serve it on the bottom, just rip the parchment paper off, put it on a plate, pretty plate, and serve it that way. You can keep in the fridge for up to 3 days. After a while, the raspberry coulis might look purplish, but don't panic. It's just the cornstarch turning color in the fridge. And I don't know, you can freeze it for those of you who want to freeze it, I guess. Just let me know how that turns out. And yeah, once it's fully cooled, it's going to cut nicely because the custard will be set, the peaches will be set. And it's a beautiful little Mother's Day treat. It's the Rosy Maple Moth Pie. It's my mom's recipe that I want to share with you guys. It's Captain Reese's Dobby's favorite pie. I hope for those of you who are at Basingstoke, you've made this and you flood Reese with Peche Melba pies tomorrow and he won't know what's going on. Because I'd love for him to curse me when we get back, when he gets back. And we're going to hang out because me and Reese want to do more work together. So we're trying to figure out some things we can work on together. That's it. I'm happy to take any questions before we wrap it all up. If somebody's confused about how to do this or what to do.
Well, we'd love to hear also someone was using mango instead of peaches, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious how that turns out. So please tag me in your photos, you guys. Tag me in your posts. I want to see this pie come to life and celebrate Mother's Day with you all. And just, us. Let's celebrate us. Crew for life. Again, it's not about the journey or the destination, it's about the company. So whether we're getting a season 3 or not, whether we're clowning or not, or let's just remember this amazing journey we went on together. We're bonded for life. Nothing's going to take that away. All right. Let's keep making the skies gay.
Amazing. And people, I mean, this community is so special, and what you've made and how you've responded to the community, it's just a beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. And yes, I've given so much BTS, so it's kind of like I'm running out of things to post because I've shared so much, but I'm always going to have the odd photo here or there, or the odd little clip here or there that I'm going to share with you guys. Again, I said it was the last scene that I could post, which was a recording of the camera. So don't panic, you guys. Don't panic.
Jody has already asked to or offered to crowdfund your lawyer fees, which is very sweet.
Thank you.
Also questions about how are you all keeping in touch? Are you still in touch with your castmates, and how much or who?
Yeah, absolutely. I communicate by Crow with Khan. That's the only way he takes messages.
Yeah.
And he sounds like one, so it works perfectly. I'm kidding. We're still in touch, WhatsApp. We have our WhatsApp group from time to time. Of course, the ones who are here, Vico, sometimes Nat Fax, and we're just texting. But it's so hard because everyone lives abroad. But from time to time, they come to LA and then we hook up, we meet up, and we're all talking about, okay, what else can we do together? How else can we just work together? Because we loved each other so much. I, for one, can't wait to go back to New Zealand to not only see Dave Fane and give him a big hug and sit in his lap, but also just to see the country and experience that nature again. Yeah, we're still all in touch. We bonded so beautifully in season 1, and that kept going with season 2. Because during season 1, like Ewan became a dad. There was the COVID thing. Everyone was kind of new in Los Angeles, and we took on them, and I was showing them around. Like we really became a family. And even though Roach was only supposed to be in like 6 episodes from season 1 as a guest star, I'm so happy that by giving so much, I was able to be a bigger part of this family, and then through season 2 as well. So like I said, it's just a bond we'll never break, I think. We get along with everybody. But yes, Con takes messages back, bro.
Wendy asked, did you give Con his water bottle back?
I did. He's old, and so he's starting to forget things. And it's like when I put him back in his stroller to take him to the car to drive him home, he forgot his water bottle, and so I had to drive back to the restaurant and ask, hey, my toddler left his water bottle here. He's been in Chernobyl. Maybe you recognize him. Oh, the little baby with this voice. I was like, yeah, that's my baby, and he's. So I returned his water bottle to him. He was very happy, very grateful. Did I put something in it? Maybe. A dead cockroach? Maybe. Surprise.
Ellen asked, do you have a story about why Roach had to sew his shoulder up once? Do you know what that was?
So in season 1, we improvised that bit because Taika was directing that episode. So I say, yeah, I sewed my shoulder up once after I was stabbed. And then Taika goes, okay, keep going. And then so Reese asks, oh, what happened there? I said, well, I was on a ship with my brother, and then we got attacked by the Spanish, and they cut off my arm. And then I was looking for my arm, but I couldn't find it. But then I found my brother's arm, and I sewed it on my shoulder. So this is my brother's arm. And no one asked questions, and we just kept moving on. So Roach has 2 hands that are not his, like one someone else's hand. So
amazing.
that's the background story, the lore.
Irene also asked, do you know where the pattern on Roach's mom's sash comes from? Is it somewhere specific?
No. So basically, when we were doing the costume fitting with Christine Wada in season 1, I wanted a sash because I was like, this is what we would wear, like if we're Berbers in that time period. And so she's like, let me see what I have. And she came up with this beautiful fabric that was just this flower pattern. And it was before it was weathered down. I'm like, this is perfect because I think if he has something that belongs to a mother, his mother figure, I think that'd be amazing. And so maybe, at the time, his mother had gotten this beautiful fabric because it's not something that you make in that region, but she must have gotten it from, I don't know, a Spanish ship or something beautiful that meant a lot to her. And to give that piece of sash to Roach for him to remember his mother with. And I made sure I kept that sash in season 2, even under all my new costume changes. So that was just a piece of Roach that would never go away. I'm going to do a post on Roach soon where I show all the new details from his costume, like he has all these new rings that I chose specifically for each meaning thing and different costumey things. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of other like how did Roach get his new shirt in season 2? I mean, there's a lot of questions. So I think maybe you can answer some of those when you do your posts. So make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna do a whole Roach specific post.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Samba, thank you for doing this delicious chaos with us. This has been another.
No. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Be Momentus. Thank you, our interpreters, our modifiers, all the cast and crew, or the cast, they're all in Basingstoke. The crew who joined us today. Thank you for joining us. And it's always a pleasure to bake for you guys and to share recipes that mean so much to me and to support every mother that counts and to support mothers everywhere. And for Mother's Day, it means so much. And like I said, we're bonded for life. We're not going anywhere, man. We're clowns for life. So thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you for buying these tickets and raising money for Every Mother Counts. And, I think we've all learned a valuable lesson about peaches and creaming and pirates. That didn't come out right, though. I don't.
No, yeah.
Does that? Okay.
Peach emoji.
Thank you to Mariah, our moderator, for steadfastly helping with this chaotic crew. And thank you to our interpreters, Catherine and Harshita. And thank you, Samba. You are the heart and humor that you are, a gift to this fandom. Rad dad. Listen, thank you. Really appreciate you.
I appreciate you all. Thank you.